Starting off with our top story tonight, the government has directed Kenya Airways pilots to call off their strike and return to the negotiation table. Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen termed the industrial action, which began on Saturday morning, as illegal, amounting to economy sabotage and meant to test the new government. This as Kenya Airways Chief Executive Officer Allan Kilavuka issued a 24-hour ultimatum for the striking pilots to resume work or face disciplinary action. Meanwhile, the Kenya Airline Pilots Association says the pilots are all ready to get back to work immediately once they come to an amicable agreement with the management of the national carrier, which they accuse of maintaining a hardline stance.
Saturday morning at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, a travel crisis is unfolding. Thousands of flights disrupted as no Kenya Airways plane has taken off.
No, the whole day is not for travel.
So we are doing our best.
No, your best is not enough. You can't be doing your best now. It's too late to be doing your best.
The pilots are on strike.
I'm from Nigeria, so I came here for work from the University of Lincoln. Regarding the strike, is quite frustrating. So I totally understand that, they're fighting for their rights, and I believe the government should have been aware of this even before now, because there are a lot of people who are supposed to travel for work, but we can't. We are stranded right now.
And we're transferring from here to Johannesburg. Then we have another flight to get from Johannesburg. So this has interrupted us greatly.
So we can't go. We have to wait and see what happens. It's a shame.
Even as of this morning, you were still selling tickets when you knew your planes were cancelled. There was a flight to London that left, yet the flights to other places in Africa are not leaving. We have to get serious on this continent. You could have sent us an email, you could have sent us an SMS telling us that something like this is happening, and guys, prepare. I get here, you ask me, go back into town. I don't reside in Nairobi.
Hundreds of passengers on transit to other nations stranded from as early as 5 a.m.
We just found out this morning, and luckily we got a driver to bring us here and put us in the queue. So we have to line up for I don't know how long and try and wait till there is another flight, or else we have to go back to the hotel and try tomorrow.
You know what? I think they are too poor with communication. I think it was very, very, very poor.
Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, who toured JKIA to assess the impact of the strike, termed the industrial action by members of the Kenya Airways pilots as illegal, saying it had been suspended by the High Court.
The strike was unwarranted. The concerns raised are valid. Downing tools, pilots stopping flying was not the decision to be made at this point in time.
Flanked by Kenya Airways top management, Murkomen said the government is willing to resolve grievances expressed by Kenya Airways pilots only if they call off their strike.
We believe they went about it the wrong way, and the company and the government of Kenya is willing to listen to the issues they are raising. But let's listen to it through the law by first stopping the strike and coming to the table, and we negotiate.
Kenya Airways Chief Executive Officer Allan Kilavuka issued a day's notice for the pilots to call off the strike.
We have a crisis at the airport. There are many people who need to go to where they need to go to, and so we expect the pilots within the next 24 hours to return to work. And 24 hours means by 10:30 tomorrow, after which we will have to take the necessary action that will help us address the crisis that we have.
The Kenya Airways leadership is accusing the Kenya Airline Pilots Association of shifting goalposts and refusing to attend reconciliation meetings convened by the Ministry of Labour.
They bring up all the issues. We ask them which issue can we address first. They bundle everything together.
And we are not going to, for instance, get rid of the management or the executive team because a union asked them to do it. In every company you have grievances about your management, but you don't go on strike because of it, and you don't demand that we terminate those people. It's an unacceptable demand. It will not be met.
Kenya Airline Pilots Association has, however, defended its action, saying the stalemate can only be resolved through negotiation.
All the Kenya Airways pilots are here at Rubani House. and are all ready to get back to work immediately once we come to an amicable agreement with the management. The management needs to reconsider their hardline stance, come to the table, and negotiate in good faith.
Ben Chumba, Legends Edition.